Hello, guys, and Merry Christmas.
Merry
This is
Christmas.
podcast 11, and well, obviously, I'm Peach, and I have with me Lazule.
Lazule, yeah. Merry
Uh,
Christmas, guys.
and yeah, this is a podcast we've been trying to do for a while,
Yeah.
but things to come up for both of us. But yeah, I
We've been
think,
lazy and busy.
yeah, and I think the way we do podcasts is nice. It's like when both of us have the time to do it, it's like,
We just do it and that's it.
yeah, instead of having like a schedule, because I
I
mean,
hate the scheduling.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult to improv.
Mm.
Like that, very organized and all that. I prefer it to be. So we have a lot of topics. Which one do you want to start with? Politics or a hobby, whatever. If you want to make it different, we can start with hobby topics.
Yeah, maybe because we're going to talk a lot about politics. Maybe we should make this like a politics episode. So there's completely pure politics.
That China has to do is to finish industrializing pretty much in the western zones, right, of China where there's more poverty. They need to industrialize in there, and that's it. They pretty much will have a domination in production
Yeah,
forever.
but I mean, to me, it's kind of like, that's good. I mean,
Yeah, I believe that's good because
I
I want to
because
see.
I don't really care about the whole thing of like, oh, we need more and more and more and more people. We need to either have like more babies, or we need to like import more people. It's kind of like, no,
Uh,
just let things happen naturally. And if the population goes down, it will go down, and the amount of resources available will be spread out to less people.
yeah,
You
there will
know,
also be more poverty,
because the
honestly.
thing is that productivity is going up. I mean, with the help of technology and all that, when the
Yeah,
population
exactly.
goes down, I don't think productivity will go down. It will stay the same. It will just be more, what's called.
Depends if they industrialize in time, right? And yeah, so far they've been able to humanity been able to industrialize in time to make up for the lack of bigger populations and so on. But yeah, I think that that is going to be the case. I think that it will be really interesting to see a more Asianized world. You know what I mean? So I would like to see that, even if it's China. I just want to see more Asian influence in the world instead of just being a Western country. The U.S., Europe, England, whatever the fuck. It will be certainly very very interesting. The world that we're heading to.
Yeah,
So I
and
support that. I actually support that.
yeah, and for me, it's like, to me, it doesn't really matter because I mean, my life would probably not change at all, no matter who is in power. You know.
Yeah, yeah, possibly not. Which that brings you to the politic that you want to the topic. Sorry, that you wanted to talk about Swedish politics, right? So you
Yeah,
want to add on that? Yeah, go ahead.
because in Sweden next year is election year,
Hmm.
and in Sweden during election year we vote for three things. We vote
Hmm.
for EU, Parliament, and locally. And
Hmm.
then you can vote whatever you want
Hmm.
for
I'm going to
each.
ask. I'm going to ask you first. What's your stance on the EU? Do you like it or not?
I do not like how it is and all that. I think EU is actually stifling Sweden in
Do you
things
think
that
that it's Do you think that it is too German centric?
German and French centric, yes.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
But not just that. It's kind of like in Sweden, we are really pushing for greener solutions and green this. And
Yeah.
we would actually be further along in our goal than, depending on what you think, it doesn't matter. In Sweden, that's kind of like what people are voting for, what people want. But EU is kind of like forcing us to do less green solutions to certain things because Germany, their biomass programs and all that. So it's kind of like, why can't we just
Do whatever you
advance
want.
further? Why do we have to
Listen to
wait?
that.
You know?
I don't know, investors and all that. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
exactly. and they're like, oh, it isn't approved by EU regulations and all that. If EU was just best trading and stuff like that, like it was supposed to be, then I would be
But
fine with it. Because
yeah,
EU, I'm not super opposed to EU in everything. Like I really like
the idea, right? The idea of it of
not only
free
that,
trade.
also the medical investment things that happens in the EU.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and oh fuck, what's it called? Oh fuck, there is a program. Um, anyways, so there are a lot of good things about EU. So
Right.
I don't know if I would want Sweden to be entirely out. Um, but I do think EU should have less power over the member countries.
Definitely. Speaking of EU, like I was thinking, right? It will be super fucking good for Asia, for the three nations in Asia. Korea. Let's assume that Korea is a whole Korea. China and Japan to have a sort of trade agreement like the EU. It will be super impossible to pass, right? I'm thinking idealistically here. But if they had something like an Asian Union, they will do super fucking well. They will be the best economy in the world, easily. I think so.
I mean, they
Because
do have they do have some type of trade partnerships and all that. I mean,
yeah, but it's not as open. They don't have good relations with each other So, for example, the Japanese are racist against the Koreans. They don't like each other. The Japanese don't like the Chinese. The Chinese don't like the Japanese, and they don't like the Koreans, and so on. So if they had closer relationships between each other, they could mutually benefit from that super so much. I think so because they will be able to carry the world economically. I think so because they are by far Asian cultures. East Asian cultures are the most workaholic cultures in the world. They are also very collectivist. By nature almost. That has
yeah,
been
but
their tradition forever.
I I don't think that will last. I mean, it's not going to last, the whole working yourself to an early grave and all that. Like, people are going to want,
More free time eventually, even
yeah,
Asians.
better lives and all that. Like,
Do you think that is a result of industrialization? Like modernization
no, no, I
of
think it's just
society.
human nature that when you have the opportunity to get a more comfortable lives and all
Uh,
that, you're gonna want
but it,
it.
but
Like,
also it's part of Asian culture to want to satisfy society as a whole. You know what I mean? To be part of the group of the team, and be absolutely a devoted team player, and so on. That's
yeah,
how they see it. So
I don't think that will last. Like, it's going to. I
well,
mean,
so so
and I
so
also
far.
don't believe that. I mean, look at all the, human rights violations that's happening and all that. Like, that is not because of uh, they don't care. They care about the nation as a
No,
whole and all
no,
that. No, it's because they know they
obviously.
can take advantage of each other, and that's why it's happening.
As the country modernizes, I believe that there will be less human rights violations and all that. But as for the working hours that they work, I'm not sure because for example, for Japan, it is true that they have a workaholic culture and that's it. It's because it's about honor for them or some shit. They don't have to work those hours, but they do not rank up in the company in the corporation if they don't put those extra hours. If the boss doesn't see them. Uh, Putting the effort for the team, even if they don't do anything, because actually some Japanese people, when they work extra hours, they are not really doing anything. They are just fucking chilling and shit. Seriously. But for some reason they like doing that. Like I don't know, man. Like
I don't think they
that's some
like
color
doing
in
it. Judging by the depression numbers, all the escapism, they don't like doing it. I think that's a very rose tinted glasses opinion.
I do not think it's only because of that though. Also, like also, so for example, that I think that the Japanese are also very antisocial. Culturally, they need to fucking relearn how to be social. I guess the only time that they are social is when they go drinking, right, with the boss and all that. So yeah, like and also they don't know how to romance people. That's another thing that it's falling down with them a lot. they're extremely introverted, and that's why their reproduction rates are falling down as well. So they need to be, teached how to do all those things again, I guess. It might have been, it might have fallen because of that workaholic culture. Yeah, it is likely a reason, but
Yeah, in
will
which
they will they
people do
will they
not
be
have the
able to?
energy for children, and they don't. It's also way too expensive. I mean,
Well, yeah, but the cost of the family is more an issue with the government and all that. They need to balance out the classes. Then, you know, because for example, it's possible to raise a family, right, in Sweden, with very starting from very low resources, isn't it, or is it not? Am
um,
I wrong there?
it's eh. I mean, the thing about Sweden is we are have even though there's so much building going on, we are going into a fucking housing crash.
Same as in America, right?
What do you say?
In America, they have a similar problem with the housing crisis. The house prices, the apartment prices are super fucking high.
Yeah, and here in Sweden as well, it's super high. And the thing is that they are building a fuck ton. I mean, my little village, basically where I live, they are
Yeah.
planning. They have started building, and it used to be maybe I think the census 2016 or whatever, it was like 10 or 15,000 people. Don't remember.
Hmm.
And the new program that they're planning on up until 2025, they want to make it like 25,000, 30,000 people, and they're super building everything,
Hmm.
like rails and all types of. But, but
Hmm.
it's just expensive things. It's kind of like, come on, this is a low income place. I mean, the people who live here, the average is below, like 30% below the Swedish average.
Uh-huh. And they are
Uh,
making everything more and more expensive, and that's going to fuck up with them.
yeah, and it's mostly the people who live here. It is mostly, God, what am I trying to say? It's mostly young families
Hmm.
and old people. That is like the two main demographics
Hmm.
here.
People in
And
retirement
also
and
one of the reasons why I plan on voting for the left party,
hmm.
the left wing party, is the fact that in Sweden we had the government actually, the prime minister got a vote of no confidence, so he resigned.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we had the first female prime minister ever in Sweden for seven
Whatever.
hours, and
That's
then
really
she
not a big
resigned,
deal.
and then she
Yeah.
became the new prime minister again until next year.
Oh, okay.
Um, and she resigned because she's part of the Social Democrats,
Uh-huh.
but the budget that got voted in is a right wing budget, and she said, "I'm
I
not going to oversee a right wing budget as the prime minister. Like, I'm not doing that," which I commend her.
I
Like,
personally I personally do not like social democracy because I don't think that it's central planning enough. But I'm better out with a social democracy than just a regular capitalist liberalism. I
yeah,
prefer it,
because
to be
that's
honest.
it. The royalist here in Sweden, we have like the two big, not parties, but the two big conglomerates of parties. Because in Sweden, I think we have 8 or 9 parties in parliament at the moment.
Hmm.
And they are, I'm gonna say the Red Greens are the
Hmm.
Environment Party, the Social Democrats, which is the biggest party in Sweden,
I know.
um,
Yeah.
the oh god, what are they called?
So you're not planning to vote for the Pirate Party anymore, at least these elections, because
Yeah,
you.
I don't plan on doing that.
Mhm.
I don't think they have a chance at this, and I
I think that
think
it's gonna wrap. Yeah.
the left-wing party have proven to me, because of the fact that they actually went against the Social Democrats, because they told the Social Democrats, we will stand with you
Yeah.
if you do not plan on raising housing prices. Like, we do not want rent raised. We're against that. That's the one thing, because you guys are not really giving us much. It's kind of like American progressives.
Yeah, yeah. That
They
they
have
are
been
fake
they have been
progressive.
kept out of politics. So they have been a bit like the butt buddies of the Social Democrats, because the Social Democrats are like center left.
Uh-huh.
And they told them that, we will stand with you against, the royalists and, the right-wing parties.
Yeah.
This is the one thing we ask of you not to do. And the Social Democrats decided to not do it. They were just going to check to see what would happen if they decided to raise prices. And then the left-wing party was like, nope, fuck you. Because
That's a really fucking asshole move, by the way. Like what they did, right, just to see, as an experiment, rise fucking house prices. What the fuck, dude?
yeah, and they were like, and then the Social Democrats said, well, but we weren't actually going to do it. We're just going to check. And the left-wing party was like, why would you even check then? Like, if you,
Yeah, that's fucked up, dude. That's super fucked up.
we don't, fuck you. And they voted, and they got kicked out. And well, not kicked out. That guy decided, okay, I have to resign now. Like,
I'm not into this shit. Yeah.
the majority of the government have voted, a vote of no confidence. So, I mean, I have to leave.
So now things are looking weird, right? Up in the government right now. Things are going to change a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's political,
And also, one
political
reason why I also want to vote for the left-wing party is, I mean, I'm afraid that the right-wing parties the thing is that a lot of the right-wingers don't know this, or at least they choose to ignore it. When they
No,
talk
yeah,
about
they some right wingers.
immigrants, wait, when
Some
they talk about the immigrants thing,
yeah.
they don't know, they ignore that the fact is that most immigrants that came into Sweden, the type of immigrant they don't like and all that,
Yeah,
came
Muslims.
during the reign of the right-wingers. The Social Democrats have taken, even though they've been powered longer, they have actually taken in less. They are a bit harsher. While the right-wingers just took in everyone and then dumped them in the slums. They defunded, like, things that would help. And, like
having, for example, police presence in their neighborhoods, like stuff like that, or what? They funded what kind of things?
yeah, like, oh, we're gonna, like, they didn't defund the police. They just moved resources from the police, from the poorer areas to the richer areas.
Obviously.
And just make life worse for poor people. And then what happens? More poor people are going into crime, are going to take, and also making it harder to just live.
And yeah, that is true as well. Ironic, but yeah, it's true. A lot of right wingers, what I was going to say is that they don't give a fuck about economic policies that much. Some right wingers, Nazis for example, will claim to be socialists, but only in name. Like they don't really are socialists in any kind of deed. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they just claim their role to get support from somewhere because they lack it because they are very socially rejected ideology nowadays. And to gain power, they do that, right? They subvert meanings, the meaning of socialism even and shit. Yeah, I know because in my Discord I have had Nazis that act that way. But in reality, what they care about the most is keeping the race pure and shit. Like that is their priority. They say that they are not about identity politics, but their kind of politics are also super identitarian. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's all about identity, you know.
It's all about the fucking identity politics. It's pure fucking ID pol. It's the same fucking shit. So I really don't like them because of that. You know, they are subversive. They are really fucking subversive. It's ironic because the caricature that they make of the Jew being this subversive, you know, yeah, they call him and shit. You know, they are like that. They act in that exact way in others people's communities. They act in that way as well.
Well, I
So
mean,
yeah.
people tend to hate people who are just like them, but maybe one or two things that are different. You know,
Hmm.
that's tend to be who people don't like and who people mostly fight with, you know. I mean,
Personally,
very rarely do you fight someone who is nothing like you, who are not in the same spaces, you know, like.
uh
So I think that's probably a reason why.
Well, personally, I do believe, for example, that Jewish people and Arab people are, I consider them Caucasian race. They are more mixed, but I consider them Caucasians in
Well,
anatomy.
they are literally Caucasians, you know. I
Yeah,
mean,
I consider them like that, absolutely.
because I
Even if,
mean, there are four major races.
yeah, as well.
You know, the Cascoid, Negroid, Mongoloid, and Australoid, I think is the last one.
Who is the Australian? The Abos.
The Aboriginals, you know.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Aboriginals in, you know, Australia, and also in is it Papua New Guinea, and that
I believe
one
so.
place.
New
Um,
Zealand.
no, no, no. There's a place in near India where, do you remember?
Ah, the Sentinelese, where the Sentinelese are at.
I don't know what they're called,
Lishanga.
but a American missionary was killed a few years ago.
Yeah, that they found natives in there, uncolonized and all that. Yeah, it's the Sentinelese Island, the Sentinelese.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are also
exactly.
Aboriginals.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's quite amazing, you know.
It's quite amazing that that we can still be aliens in our own planet, very much to other human beings.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're all humans.
Hmm.
Um,
I believe that there are differences, of course, but I don't believe
yeah,
that they
yeah,
are super.
obviously.
I don't.
I mean,
I don't believe that they are that radical to make a super big fuss about it. Being absolutely frank, and out of all of those characteristics and all that, I believe that I have bias with the Asians because I believe that the East Asians have the best, for example, mental capacity, slightly, very slightly. But I believe so. I believe that they do, truly do. Like if I'm asked by a racist, you know, what are you for and shit, I'm going to say, you know, to him just to test his argument because I want to really know, you know. I will say that I'm an Asian supremacist because, yeah, it is a position that I can defend, absolutely that I can defend, and that I know who to defend, and that I kind of believe in it.
I
So.
mean, I think you do believe it, judging by, you know, what we've been talking about and all that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That I'm saying that I want Eurasia to rise and all those things. I do believe those things. Yeah, I absolutely believe in those things. I think that it's going to be a better world if it's more Asian guided, and it's going to be more interesting as well. Much more interesting. I have always liked Asian culture more as well. So it's all of that combined. All of that combined. My Guiabu part, my Guiabu side, my more objective, concrete side. That I notice that those people, to me, they seem more organized, more intelligent. They have a bigger population as well, you know, which is a big fucking deal. All those things combined. They have their defects as well, obviously, absolutely. You know, like you are saying, you know, they have a very isolated lifestyles and they are very tiresome and they suicide, you know, because of that shit and those things. I hope that they overcome it. But to me, they show a lot of potential, and I believe in them. I believe in them a lot. So yeah, that's it for this part of the topic. So let's talk about the petrol water, I guess.
Yeah, and
Uh,
also, wait, there's one thing.
yeah.
I am
Mhm.
voting for the Pirate Party, but I'm voting for them for the EU election. Because I'm voting for the left wing in the parliament and local, and I'm
Yeah.
voting for, um, oh god, Pirate Party for EU. So,
Hmm.
I will be
Okay.
voting for them, just not for parliament.
Okay, I see. That's good. That you haven't given up your faith in them, because they actually can get something, rolling. I wish that more parties are going to run in the future with that policy, by the way, with free public internet. That taxpayer internet and shit. That will be really fucking cool. If the internet is good enough, of course, right? If
Yeah.
it's not super slow.
And I also think because Germany actually have, I think, one representative of the German side of the Pirate Party is actually in the EU. So if he could get some help, maybe from one or two Swedish, that would be good.
Yeah, that was super fucking good. That's great. I didn't know that, by the way. That they are actually one seat.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Germany, of all places, Germany, who is like fucking super fascistic shithole when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not
Super
as not as
corporate.
terrible as England, but
Yeah, exactly. No, England is on another fucking level. You already know
yes,
this topic, kind of well. So the petroleum is like is a renewed form of oil denominated in dollars. It's a simple, very simple definition, which means that all the price of oil is determined by U.S. dollars in value, right?
or at
It's not the
least
charge.
specifically Saudi Arabia and those countries. Other
Yeah,
countries can decide to do whatever, but if they're part of what's that oil thing called? There's like an
uh,
oil monopoly thing.
that the Saudis own and the Americans and
Yeah,
those
like the
countries.
oil producing countries are all banding together to control the price of oil so that they all make as much money as possible.
Hmm. I'm not sure. Maybe it was what they decided in the Bretton Woods conference in 1944.
No,
Uh,
it is something, and they like every year they come together several times a year to decide the price of oil. Uh, oil, oil price. Let's see. If we just search
because for
oil price, is there?
because for
But
example,
talk about what you wanted, and then I'll just look up.
okay, I know that right now the U.S. is the biggest exporter of refined oil, not crude, by the way, because crude is probably Venezuela right now because they are blessed in oil, right? Like you said the last time.
Yeah.
Uh, they have a lot of oil that is very easy to extract, but it's unrefined. So they have to send it usually to the U.S. and the U.S. takes a chunk of it and refines it and all those things. So right now the U.S. has they do dominate the oil market, and that's why their economy is staying afloat as the top economy because they have such a domination on oil and on the petroleum. But once the oil runs out more, or they cannot plunder oil from other countries and shit, they are going to fall down really fucking hard, dude, because they made a lot of their society dependent on that resource
Mm.
after World War II, after the how do you call it, the Marshall Plan, that they paid all the countries that were almost destroyed by World War II. They paid all their reparations. U.S. volunteered to pay everyone reparations for World War II, and everyone was grateful for it, right? But
Yeah,
then
obviously, in exchange for American
loyalty,
businesses being able to easily make business in their countries and all
yeah,
that. You
and also
know,
alliances, and all those things.
yeah, it's one of the
But
reasons why McDonald's started popping up everywhere. You know,
uh but also it's a double-edged sword because to pay them back, the U.S. didn't had enough money eventually, and what they did is that they invented the petrodollar shit. Because how the fuck we're going to pay all those people? So they started thinking like we need a super valuable resource and shit. We need oil, and that's when they realized that they wanted to invade Saudi Arabia at some point actually. And that didn't went through because the Saudis got scared and they had to do the whole Bretton Woods conference that agreed on making the petrodollar thing. Which, by the way, I have seen some people, people like debaters like Destiny in Twitch and shit, that they deny the existence of the petrodollar. They say that it's a fucking conspiracy theory and shit, but fuck no, dude. Like it's super well documented.
and they're open about it. I mean,
Yeah, and they are open about it as
and
well.
the organization I was talking about is OPEC,
Ah, okay.
OPEC.
Yeah, I know which one. I don't have any notes on that right now, but if you can tell me what it is and all that shit,
Yeah,
go
it's
ahead.
just it's kind of like EU
Mm-hmm.
or UN, whatever. Any of these multi-nation members things
National numbers.
is just that all the oil-producing countries are part of it. They come together and then they decide, okay, what will we set the price of oil to? That's what OPEC is. It's
Okay.
13 countries that come together and decide what they will sell their oil at to other people.
Does it say the name of the countries or not in there in the article?
Yes, it's Algeria,
Uh-huh.
Angola,
Mm-hmm.
um, Equator. This is in Swedish. So Equator is
Ecuador, yeah.
no. It's
Shit.
maybe it's that country. It's the United Arab Emirates, Gabon,
Uh-huh.
Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Libya, Nigeria, Congo, Saudi Arabia, and Venezuela. Those are the OPEC
Uh,
countries.
I see, I see. So a lot of Middle Eastern mostly, and
Middle
some
East
Latin American
and
countries.
South American countries.
Uh-huh. But mostly Middle Eastern and some Africans one and some African countries as well.
Yeah,
I hear that, which is interesting by the way. Angola is there. Uh, yeah. So that's that. And what I was going to tell you as well, that the Chinese wanted to do something similar, no, right? With the Petro yuan or the Russian ruble. They wanted to do the Petro ruble, the Russians as well. They couldn't because they don't have enough oil in those things. But they wanted to strike a deal like that with Saudi Arabia. But right now, that's not looking possible. The U.S. dominates that market still.
yeah.
Because when they detect that a country has a lot of oil, they go and invade and steal that shit. So yeah, most of the wars are due to oil. Have no doubt about it. It is because of that, really. This hasn't been a mystery in a long time, honestly. But yeah. Uh, so yeah, that's pretty much it. The petrol is what makes the U.S. Hegemony super possible right now. It's super reliant on it. The U.S. is very reliant on the petroleum.
Yeah, and then
That's
we also
what
talked
they want.
about the fact that I don't think, like, maybe there'll be like a panic when the oil and all that stuff drying up, but
Uh-huh.
I truly believe it's just gonna become the crypto dollar or like something else.
I don't believe that crypto is going to replace that, but like, what's your time frame? How many years do you think that's going to happen in? Like,
Oh man, I'm pretty sure there will be a period where both of them go hand in hand before. And when I mean a period, I mean like a period of maybe like 50 years. Like
because
when the
I hear
pit.
that I heard a bet, from a debater that I hear that America is going to back up their dollars with crypto one day, and maybe it sounds reasonable, right? But he said that that's going to happen in the frame of 5 years, and I don't think that is likely. In
No,
five
no, no.
years,
I
no,
think that's too. I
that's way too
think.
early. That's
I
way too early.
think
Yeah.
we are looking at 50 to 100 years time
Yeah.
span,
Same.
and most of that will be they will go hand in hand, and they will slowly increase crypto while decreasing oil.
Yeah, and also the way I see it is that it is true that America is downfalling and all that, but it's going to be a downfall that it's in the slow motion. It's not going to happen,
Yeah, I mean,
super suddenly.
I don't
It's
think
going to happen very, very, very slowly.
I believe no one who is alive today will see the downfall of America.
I want to, I really want to, but
I don't
we'll see.
think that will happen.
I hope that it happens, but because I want to see a historical event like that. But pretty fucking sad if it does. If I do not live up to those days.
My
But yeah.
question is why? Is it just like, oh, I want to experience something historical? Or is
It's
it.
both. Yeah, the thing that you're going to say probably also true. I also don't like them so much. I want to see the rise of the Asian world, and that's it mainly. And I know that is going to happen eventually.
Do you think it would benefit you? Or.
Yeah, because by then I'm going to move to an Asian country.
Yeah,
I
but the
I
thing
already
is that
have plans.
would you get a good life then? Because if they are on the right and if they are at the top now, like, why would they treat you well? You know, like, wouldn't it be maybe a bit like how
there will be racism against white people? You think so?
maybe, who
Like,
knows?
like,
You,
like some
like,
people in Japan, go home with white people and all that.
yeah, maybe it's gonna be like, you know how some people are like about,
Oh, man.
like, for example, Mexicans in America. It's like, I go home, you know, like taking our
Yeah.
jobs, all that stuff. Don't you
Yeah,
think?
but nobody in my life has been racist to me, honestly. And I have multiple backgrounds, pretty much, and now. So I think that maybe I will face some racism in Asia and all that, but it's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be crippling and, oh my god, I cannot handle this.
Well, I'm talking more about. I don't think. Well, obviously, everyone will experience some type of racism when it comes to, you know, just normal people, whatever, you know. I'm talking a
Mhm.
bit more of like government stated racism and all that.
I don't think that will happen, man. Like an Asian country being super racist, man. Like yeah, like in policy, directly in policy, I don't think so. Like Nazi Germany was and shit, or the U.S. Back in the Confederacy, in the
I don't
Confederacy.
think that harsh. I don't think that harsh will happen. I
Maybe
think
like
humanity
social.
has gone past that mostly.
Yeah, same. That's why I also think that it's super safe as well.
I
That,
don't
that, that
know.
ideology, the racist ideology was put in the grave pretty much. An author that I read that is Russian, that talks about the fourth political theory. That we need, quote unquote, a new political theory for the world, to challenge liberalism, to make another competition for liberalism. He's called Alexander Dugin. He's from Russia and all that. He's super pro Putin himself and all that. But he says that the weakness of Nazism back in the day was without a doubt racism, because it was pretty much an open letter challenging every other people in the world to go against them and shit. Because, for example, they're considered not only Jews to be subhuman, they also consider the Slavs to be subhuman. The Russians and all that,
Yeah.
and those guys are a super super fucking big population and
I mean,
shit.
pretty much anyone who was an Aryan. Aryan were,
Yeah.
you know, at the top, and then there was all these different tiers.
Germany was also mixed, a little bit. So yeah, I don't know how the fuck that shit went through, but it happened. Whatever. They were Nordicists, actually. Nazis at the end, at least, were super Nordicists. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Nazi ideology was based off research done by some Swedish guy.
Oh, really? I didn't use.
Yeah.
That's.
Oh, don't remember what it was called, but he used it was based off research done by Swedish guy, because this Swedish guy he was doing research on Swedish people compared to Finnish people and Sami.
But that's really fucking stupid, because you know why? The thing that Nordics got over the other races is height. You can say that. Actually, Netherlands is taller, but
Yeah.
in some tribe in Africa, there's a tribe in Africa that's 7 feet.
And I mean, back then, Sweden was actually shorter than Germany and all that because of all
Well,
the famine and the malnutrition in Sweden. Sweden back then was
but
horrific.
that being said, that is the only thing that they got over other people. Intelligence, no, because the Asians mocked them in that. As we know, more now, at least through IQ, right? Because IQ is just only one type of test. It is memory, more than anything else.
Yeah,
It's memory and a little bit of spatial testing and shit, but it's
yeah,
not enough. Honestly, there is no test yet that tests intelligence good enough, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. And also, I
But
would say IQ test also benefits more.
a more organized society, right? That has more
Yeah,
family
and all
values,
that because,
like the Asian.
for example, if let's say Albert Einstein, who I don't know what his IQ was. It was high. Let's say
Mhm.
he no longer had the ability for all this technology, and he was just put in the savannah. Would
Uh-huh.
he know what to do? Would he have like the intelligence to be like, okay, this is how I make this spear. This is what I have to do to hunt. okay, this is, the paw prints.
No, probably not.
No.
Most
And
humans learn from experience.
yeah,
So
yeah, and the thing is that
sorry,
that isn't considered
most humans.
intelligence in the IQ
Uh-huh.
test. So to
Yeah.
me, IQ
Yeah.
tests, it's a very specific thing they test. It's not
Sorry, I
intelligence
want
overall.
I want to correct something that I said. Most humans not do precisely learn from experience. They learn more by example nowadays. They require teachers or YouTube videos or whatever to absorb the information. But the fact is that we are learning from somebody else, not absolutely on our own. That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would say it's probably very, very hard to learn entirely by yourself.
Yeah,
Especially depending on the time span. I mean, you could probably start learning by yourself, but it takes way longer. You know,
yeah.
like if you would be a master at, I don't know, like building a house, like specific architecture, all that, blah blah blah. And maybe if you were to do it all by yourself, all that, maybe it would take
Oh,
25 years.
it will take so fucking long. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely
25
insane.
years, example. But
Yeah.
if you can skip certain parts because you can learn from others, then you can
It will
make that
take
25 years to 10 years.
yeah.
So I
I agree with
think
you.
it's mostly just
I mean,
shortening.
do you know what shows us how teaching started to spread? The spread of civilization itself teaches us that, right? Because it started with the Sumerians, with the Babylonians, and all those things, and all the cultures that benefited the most were based on the regions that they were at, right? The Egyptians were kind of close to Babylonians and so on, and then Greece, Rome, and all those things, and then they copy each other, right? Even black people actually copied the Egyptians. You know, the kingdom of Kush, the
Yeah.
Kushians, the Nubians, and all those people. Even black people got into civilization because they copied the Egyptians and blah 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 blah. And actually, the ones that took the longest, I would say, not absolutely the longest, right? But that were lagging behind were the Germans because they were barbarians, to the Romans. They didn't like them a lot. Back then they were seen as the inferiors, you can say.
Yeah,
And
also depending on, if because who was a Greek philosopher, I don't remember who, but he had the thought of where he believed civilization could thrive. And when you
what does it
look,
mean for civilization just to thrive?
like, where
That it is.
civilization could exist. And in his thing that he did,
Uh huh.
it was very, very close to be correct at his time, because he put it at the temperate zone of the earth.
Uh huh.
And
Okay. I see what you
and when you
mean.
looked at all the way to China, in the
And
temperate
yeah,
places of China is where civilization started. And
yeah.
you look at, northern Africa,
To start
southern
the
Europe.
civilization, you need a warm climate for agriculture. You need agriculture for civilization to bloom,
Yeah,
and
and
that's from
and you
there.
don't want super cold winters or
And you don't
super
want
super
super hot
dry
deserts.
summers.
I agree.
It needs to be decently and also depending on the livestock that you can have.
In those temperatures, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I agree. There has been a study on that already as well.
yeah,
There is a
fuck, I
channel
don't.
of that does geography and politics that does those two, and yeah, he says that there is a climate for a civilization. There is
Yeah,
an optimal climate for that, and it was the Mediterranean mostly. So you are correct.
and I mean, obviously now with technology, it doesn't matter as much anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Now with technology, it has there are more ways to get food, which is good. So yeah, those are the political topics, Andres. That's all that I wanted to cover pretty much.
All right, so
Uh, if you want to go more into hobbies now, mountain blade, etc.
yeah, if you want to talk more about Mountain Blade and all that, I mean, I don't have much to say when it comes to Mountain Blade since
Hmm.
I plan on giving the game a shot, maybe like
If you give it a shot,
sometime next year, maybe 2023, like
if you give it a shot, play the beta version because it has all the updates already. They are already live in there, and they are helpful. Honestly, for example, when you give an order now, when you are like attack, charge them down and all those things, the camera now slows down. It goes into slow mo when you are choosing an option, and that is super cool. Another thing that they added is like a better path finding for the artificial intelligence, right? Because they were getting stuck in stairs and all that shit. What else? Now you can divide your troops super well. You no longer need a mod for that. You can arrange the troops better.
Alright, that's good.
Yeah, because you mentioned that in your let's play of Bandit Lord or whatever it was. Uh, Now there is still not an inheritance system where you can inherit when somebody of your sons or whatever that you have with the nobles can inherit your role in the kingdom. When your character dies, they are going to implement a system that lets you take over your children and you can play as them. I hope that happens soon. And also, I would like dual wielding swords or something like that, or hammers, whatever, because there were in the past, even if it wasn't super mainstream, some soldiers did use dual wielding in fights. For example, like Miyamoto Musashi, the famous samurai guy that used two swords in battle and shit, and others like people that used rapier and dagger, and all those
Yeah.
things. So I want those updates for Mountain Blade. And what else? My favorite kingdom in Mountain Blade are the Kusites, the Genghis Khan guys, and also the Byzantine Empire, right? Like the South Empire. I
Yeah.
like simping for Ragea for that chick, for that kingdom as well. That one or the West Empire. The West Empire is also really cool. I don't like the Northern one, the Lucon one, the one that has a senate and all that shit, because I don't like the Roman Senate. It was usually corrupt, historically. So
Yeah, it's
I
kind of like,
prefer.
oh god, it's gonna take so long to do anything.
Yeah, it's taking them so long to develop that game, honestly. But they are posting updates very very frequently actually. Today they updated the game actually. They put some winter maps because of the holidays and shit. For example, it's not a big deal. I hope that they did more bug fixes and shit, but it is what it is.
Hmm.
I'm liking the game so far, but it definitely needs mods, and the community is what carries it more than anything.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it's one of the reasons why I'm a bit. I want to
Disappointed.
wait until they have completely stopped the development.
By the way, when did this game start? At what date did they release this game? Do you remember that?
Oh god, no.
It has been like 4 years or 3 years, right?
Yeah.
I can look that shit up actually. It's taking them too long to complete this shit, honestly.
Oh
Don't.
god. I mean, I don't remember how long they worked on Warband, but it was also very, very long. And that was with them already having a lot of things done from original Mountain Blade. So,
Yeah. Well, it says here like March 30, 2020. So it's been in development 2 years because the new year is coming, right? Like almost 2 years. So yeah, it's going like kind of slow, but I don't know. I wish them the best because I really like the sandbox game that they have going on.
hmm. Yeah, and I don't know, to me, it feels like it's probably a good amount of time. I mean, to me, it's like I could see it taking them 6 years, probably, like to do what they want to do.
Yeah, you need to
Uh,
hire more people,
I mean,
more
I think the
competence.
game should be playable and all that when it actually gets released. I mean, I think the way games are released nowadays, I think it's horrific, and one of the
Yeah,
reasons why I don't
they
buy
never.
new games, I always wait,
Yeah, exactly.
a long.
Even Cyberpunk, even that game was super fucking incomplete when at release, right? It's fucking sad that they are pretty much giving you. They are throwing early access these days, and they want to hook you in with a concept instead of a full developed game that is already complete, pretty much, right? It's super sad that they did that shit.
Yeah, now when you talk about Cyberpunk, I'm doing the Steam vote whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at so much Cyberpunk coming up. Yeah, like, that is... Why is Cyberpunk... maybe they fixed the game. Maybe Cyberpunk is good now, but...
No, not yet. It still has a lot of glitches. I watched a video that of a guy that glitch hunts, that looks for glitches in the game, and yeah, a lot of glitches are still in the
Because
game.
it's like in
But
every single category, there's like a Cyberpunk thing, so...
it's because all the other games
A lot of people voted for it.
It's because a lot of other games sucked. Cyberpunk is not that bad as it was on release, but it has a lot of role playing potential. Well, not within the story, but you know, when you're in the game, if you want to autistically role play and shit, you can do it. And also, it has mods. It has mods now from the modding community in the Cyberpunk Nexus or whatever the fuck. So yeah, that shit is like saving the game a little bit. That's why it's becoming more like a Skyrim. You know, like you are buying an engine, and you have to fix it with mods and shit. That's the thing. I want to play it actually one day as well because the concept is really interesting. I actually think that that is kind of the world that we are heading to. We're heading to a more cyberpunk society in the future. Maybe not in the sense that flying cars and shit, because what the fuck is going to power up those flying cars and
Yeah.
those things, right? But we are going to have we are very likely going to have how do you call those things? The cybernetics, right? Like robot arms and robot legs and those things. Very
Yeah.
likely that's how the super soldiers of the future are going to be. They're going to have cybernetic hands and cybernetic legs. I think so.
Yeah, when they start
The special forces, special forces.
mastering... When the
Prosthetic.
soldiers who get their arms thing blown off, when they
Mhm.
like basically they're like the test subjects of this new technology of cybernetics and all that, and when it's
Yeah.
good enough, they'll release it to the public.
Yeah, I think so too. I
Like
think
most
that is,
things, I mean, that's also one thing. Like, why would you be a soldier? I mean, when you're a soldier, you're basically a test subject for all types of shit.
this author that I read, Nick Land, he's an accelerationist. He thinks that the apex technology of the human will be probably prosthetics, cyborgs, cybernetics, and all those things. And very likely it's true, like before extinction and before those days, right? But we don't know. We really don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, and all that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the next stage of human evolution is like transhumanism.
I don't believe like in transhumanism in the sense of uploading your mind to the internet, because human beings don't know yet exactly what is mind. Like physically, as a physical thing, they don't know what it is. Maybe it's neurons firing up, or maybe it's the voltage in the brain and all those things. They don't know. So I don't think that is going to happen. But
Or
cybernetics definitely
maybe
is.
it could be that our so-called mind, our thinking, is something that is like throughout the entire body. Like all our nerves, our gut, all that. Like if you remove all this like physical stuff, like you said, then you can't have a consciousness.
Uh-huh.
Like
Well, I don't think it is like that, because there's people with prosthetics that are pretty much just normal, right? They think just like us. But
no, no,
maybe.
no. I'm talking about trying to upload something. Like you need,
Oh, you need to
because
you need to upload the whole body.
yeah, because I mean, phantom limb syndrome is something that exists.
Yeah. Hmm.
So you get something cut off, and then you still think that you have, like you can
Yeah.
feel,
Like,
you can still feel, but there's nothing there.
mhm.
And that's, the body's like still sending out those signals, trying to like, because it's so used to there's being something there.
There is a lot of theories of mind, out there. Philosophers also struggle with that concept, like what is mind? what is consciousness and those things, and they believe that consciousness is all through the universe. All the universe is consciousness. And it is God or whatever the fuck and all those things. What I believe it is it's only in the brain. I believe it's only in the brain, and that's it. Personally. But yeah, we'll see. Speculations. You know what I mean. What about Pokemon, by the way? You already finished at Pokemon XD, right? Did you like it?
No, I think it was one of the worst seasons
Like,
of
oh,
Pokemon. I mean, I would say
no,
it
no,
was. What?
games, right? We're talking about games of Pokemon, not seasons.
Oh, you're talking about the games.
Yeah, I'm talking about XD right now.
Oh,
Pokemon
Pokemon
XD.
X. Oh, sorry. I was watching the cartoon, and it was called X, Y, and Z.
Okay, tell me later about that. First XD, because I'm more interested in the game. Did you like the XD?
Yes, I liked it.
Yes,
I think the
I saw
game itself was better than Colosseum, but I liked the story and the
the protagonist from
yeah, and
Colosseum
also
better.
like maybe like more of the setting and the spirit of Colosseum more.
Yeah, and also you have a companion. You are not alone. You have this girl, Ayesa, you called her Rui. I think she's called Rui in the
Yeah,
original.
I mean, I'm gonna call her the protagonist. The girl.
Yeah, the
Um,
girl.
I did not care about her at all because of the fact that you couldn't talk to her. She was just a blank slate. She was annoying. I mean, the fact that
She got in that way when you try to walk and shit.
yeah, and also every time you saw a shadow Pokemon, you would get like a close up of her, and then she would just say the same thing over and over.
It's a shadow Pokemon, yeah. That's
Yeah.
it.
So I think they fumbled with her. I think
Mhm.
in that sense, I liked more what they did with XD. The fact that you just have a little thing on your eye, some technology, and then you can see.
The Scouter, yeah, like the
Yeah,
Super Science. You have a Scouter. Uh-huh.
yeah. So I enjoyed that more. But even then, I was like, you don't need to show that all the time, or at least let me skip that animation.
I agree. I agree.
Uh,
Uh, but I saw your last episode of XD. I'm going to watch it. I'll let's play later on.
mm.
But I saw that your opinion of it was downfalling, right? Because you were doing a side quest, post game side quest that was super annoying. That you were
Yeah, oh god, I hated it.
listening to the Pokemon cries, and you have to guess which one it is and shit, and you have to go back and forth and shit.
Yeah, it's like, just
And
give
it's
me all of
frustrating.
the, like, you had to go back and forth like 8 times.
Yeah, no, that shit is not fun. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, and I think both the games faltered there. I think both the games post game were bad.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I agree. It's because that's how post games are usually. It's because they don't have any content anymore. They just want to extend the fucking shit.
Yeah. So I didn't
But
finish either post game. Like,
but I'm glad to hear that you liked both of the games because I might play XD. I never played that one,
hmm,
so that's a thing to consider for me now.
hmm.
I like your party in the game as well. Big Mama. The Ulsaring, and who else did you have? You had
Tiny
a
Dave, the
uh, who was the seal? I forgot
yeah,
the
yeah,
name.
that
The
was
what?
Tiny Dave. But what's his
Yeah,
name? No, no, no. What is the name? Walrein. There we go.
yeah, Walrein. Yeah, the Walrein. Who was your
Oh,
main Pokemon? You had a Houndoom and then a main Pokemon there. Your first one. Who was it?
that was the electric EV evolution.
Ah, okay, Jolteon. Yeah,
Jolteon,
right.
yeah.
You started with an Eevee, right? In that
Yeah,
game?
you
Ah, okay. So
you start with an EV, and then the first place you go, you can decide. So you could actually evolve your EV at like level 12,
uh-huh.
but I
But you can.
decided to wait until I think level 20 or whatever because I wanted to use my EV for some time before I evolve it.
Uh-huh.
Even though there is no negative, I mean, it's probably the smartest to evolve your EV as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But I wanted to evolve it early.
Yeah, like a little bit later, it
I
can
mean,
join.
I wanted to evolve it later, yes.
Yeah.
because
To
I
enjoy
wanted
more
to
the
role
Eevee.
play a bit, having an Eevee for some time and then
Mhm.
level. I will
What
say
options do they give you, by the way? Do they give you only the three elemental options for the Eevee, or you can also choose Umbreon and Espeon?
you can just choose Umbreon and Espeon as well.
Oh, that's cool, because
They
I
give
prefer
you
the.
like a shard that you can use as a stone and then they evolve.
Oh, that's cool, because I like Umbreon a lot. It's my favorite Pokemon.
One
Uh,
thing about Walrein that I really did not like was the
yeah.
fact that the only water type attack it learned during my Let's Play was a water gun.
Oh, so it was super. Even in the final form, it was
Yeah,
super fucking
and
shitty.
I don't know what level it was. Like, did I go up to level 60? I don't know.
You
But
went to level like 55.
yeah, and it's still only new water gun. And now I'm looking at its like generation 3 or whatever, and it doesn't learn any. Like, water gun is the best water type attack
That's really fucking shitty. Yeah.
that it
Not
learns by
even fucking
level up.
Hydro. No, 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 not even Hydro Pump or Sarf or anything like that. That looks cooler,
Yeah,
Water gun looks super
because
fucking
Surf
shitty.
is a TM or is a HM move, and
No, yeah, but it's in some games, right? So Sokyu had it in Coliseum,
yeah,
and it's super useful for teams because it hits all the two Pokemon, right?
yeah, it would have been so good, and but it didn't have that, so I was forced to use like a
Water
icy
gun
wind
for
blizzard combo, whatever.
uh,
Yeah, so even though I really like Wolverine, I think Wolverine is way better than the Gen 1. What was it called? Uh,
yeah, Lapras.
Dewgong. Dewgong.
Dugong. Okay, yeah, the seal. Yeah,
Yeah, it's and also I love Sveel. Sveel is like one of my
yeah, I
favorites
agree.
because of how it looks. Like just a
Yeah,
round ball with two.
yeah, with teeth and eyes and shit. It's a seal that the design is super fucking cool. Yeah, I agree. Gen 3 had really fucking cool designs, I think.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ones. Well, anything else? Like, what about the anime of Pokemon?
Yeah, I've watched every single Pokemon episode this year. So that's pretty much what I did this year. I watched every single, like, over 1,100 something episodes of Pokemon.
Holy fucking shit. Did you already finish them? All of them?
Yes, all of them done.
All of them. Holy shit, Pokemon is done. Yeah, so the last season it was trash, you're saying, right?
Yeah, it wasn't the worst.
Uh-huh. Which one was the worst?
Black and White was the worst.
Uh,
They did like a soft reboot, and
I'm
Ash
glad that
became.
Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't watch them in my childhood.
Yeah, Black and White was so bad, so bad. But
Hmm.
X and Y, the first two seasons were like bad, and then the last season was actually good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It didn't. It wasn't great. I will
Hmm.
say one thing that was good about X and Y was the fact that Ash was the best he has ever been. Ash was actually a good Pokemon trainer.
Hmm.
Like when I watched it, I was like, holy shit, Ash. It makes like when you watch it, it's like, yeah, I can see Ash. Like, I mean, come on, he's won how many 8 gym badges before he's won? He's been in the leagues and all that, so it makes sense that he
Yeah.
would be competent. Like, so that was
Hell yeah.
cool. Ash was actually really good as a Pokemon trainer,
Hmm.
and his Pokemon were also good. Like, that was good. The problem is, he basically only used Pikachu and Greninja, especially later on where his Greninja got like a super form, like Ash Greninja, and I
A
was
Mega
like,
Evolution.
no, it isn't a Mega Evolution, or it's not even like another evolution. Greninja is like the Gen 3 water starter,
Yeah, no,
like the
yeah, I know.
final evolution, yeah.
It's in Smash as well, that character, I know.
Yeah. And then it because his bond with that Greninja is so good, it got like a 3.5 evolution. just
What?
for Ash. If you search Ash Greninja, you'll see
I'm going to
it.
do that right now. Describe it to me, I guess.
It's basically a Greninja with like a X on its face and wings, water wings.
Okay, I see it. I see it right now.
It's and I mean the battles it was in was cool. I mean it was cool, but it made all his other Pokemon like take a backseat and everything. In such an episodes, you're like, Ash, why are you not using your flying Pokemon to, do this flying thing? No, I'm gonna use my Greninja. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, there's no variety in the animation there.
It
Because they are not letting the other characters shine as much.
Yeah, and also one thing I did not like about X and Y, the supporting characters were bad. Serena, which is a really attractive Pokemon girl, like the only thing.
She's the one with the cap, right? With the shorts.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that because of Fortune. But yeah.
Like she's attractive, but her only thing is she's in love with Ash.
No, I know this chick. No, this is another. I was thinking another girl. But yeah, Serena, I know her.
Um,
Yeah, it's the French girl. The French girl that is into
yeah.
fashion.
Um, the only thing she's in love with Ash, and that's the only thing to her character. And then she was in not contests. She was in like performances. She like performer. It's. Do you remember Dawn and May?
Yeah, I remember May and.
Yeah, they were
Jess.
in contests.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
I don't know what performance is exactly.
Performer is basically a contest without the battle.
Oh, lamer.
Yeah, it's super lame. And she only lost once that we got to see, and everything else it was so boring. Like every time I saw it, like I watched the first few performers episodes, and after that I was like, you know what, I'm not watching a single more of this. So as soon as I got to them, I was like, I'm gonna skip through ahead, like boom, nothing interesting, get the fuck out. The only good supporting character from X and Y was actually the kid character.
I have to look him up. What's his name?
Her name was like Bonnie, I think. Let's see.
Yeah. She's a blonde girl.
Yeah, she was the only good
kind of good character.
Supporting character.
She wasn't annoying like Max.
Yeah, no. I mean, she had some things that you might go, that's a bit annoying. But it wasn't very often. And it was like, she's a child. So sometimes she will do, annoying things. Like, that's fine.
Stupid shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's too.
But her episodes were so good. But her episodes when she, like bonds with certain Pokemon, it was like, why can't she catch some Pokemon? Let her, because every episode she was in where she bonded with a Pokemon, you're like, oh man, that's so good. She should catch that Pokemon. But
I don't remember the name of this Pokemon because it's from a new gen, but she has like a rat Pokemon that is like a mouse.
Yeah. What's the name of damn it, I don't remember what's called.
It's like a Pikachu.
The Dini, something like no. It's something D, I think. I know it's like a Pikachu clone.
Yeah, it's like a Pikachu clone. He's also electric, right?
Yeah, electric fairy.
Yeah, he's the Dini. Yeah.
But it isn't her Pokemon, it's her brother's. She just takes care of it.
Okay, she has no Pokemon then?
Yeah, because she's too young to have a Pokemon.
What? How the fuck does that make sense in a world that is...
Yeah, it's the same thing with Max. Max didn't have any Pokemon because he was too young. I think that's so stupid. Yeah, I think that was so stupid. Especially since the Dene was basically her Pokemon. I mean, it was like, oh, brother, can you catch it for me? So when I grow older, I can get it. So that's basically what they did.
And she has it. It's the same fucking shit.
Yeah, and then she has it entire in her bag. And then the whole point with her and Zygarde was really good. Zygarde is like the legendary Pokemon. And she had like a cell of him that she took care, and she would sing like lullabies to him. So every episode with her, great, good. However,
But everything else was absolutely unmemorable and cheap.
unmemorable, boring. The battles were good. I mean, the battles, Ash's battles were good in this show. Too bad he basically had no rival. His so-called rivals that he lost to, and like the main rival that he would battle in the series, they only introduced them in the last season. And then, yeah, like the first 2 seasons, nothing happens. And then everything happens in the last season.
What about which one was your favorite Pokemon generation then? The first one, I'm guessing, is one of the best ones, right?
Yeah, it
The
is one of
problem
the
was
best.
that the problem is that there was not enough gym battles, right? Like you
Yeah,
told me,
good
it was
ones.
a task. It was a
But
task.
my favorite season is generation is Generation 4. The Diamond
Okay.
and Pearl one.
I'm
That is,
probably going to watch it then.
yeah, that is the best one. And Ash's rival called Paul is
Yeah, I know
really
him.
good.
Yeah, I know that
His
he catches. He's actually thinking about the IVs of the Pokemon when he catches them and shit. Yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah, and all that, and
Because
he is really really good, and he has a good character arc.
uh-huh.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing about Black and White. Like, it's one of the
He's
worst.
very uh-huh.
But Black and White had the thing. For example, Black and White had really cool ideas and really cool things they wanted to do, but they did it horribly. X and Y had boring ideas and boring everything, but they did it okay. You know, um, X and Y was like, it was more of the same Pokemon, whatever, and then animation was good. Black and White, um,
In the last one, they changed the art style, right?
they've changed like art style almost every season now. I mean, ever since Black and White, they've done, Sun and Moon. They made it look like super kid show. And
Yeah,
then
I don't know yet.
and then Journeys, the current season or the current generation, looks a bit like X and Y, which is good because X and Y is probably the best looking Pokemon.
By the way, did you watch absolutely all the Pokemons as well, like the OVAs, the movies, and
Yes,
the
I've watched
streaming,
every single movie.
all the content already?
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
You're missing nothing.
I mean, I might be missing some, like side things or whatever, but
Did you watch the
the,
episodes where this guy Ethan, the gold, the protagonist from Gold, from Pokemon Gold?
yeah, like the Pokemon
Starts it.
generation stuff. I've seen it. Poketoon. I've seen.
Hmm.
Like most of those, I don't care. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I did not care for it. Like,
Oh,
it isn't a story. Like, you're not
mhm.
following a story. I don't care about the characters.
I
So
see it.
it was just okay. Like, but there was no story to it. Um, I want to talk a bit about Black and White because I'm so sad. Because in Black and White, Team Rocket were so good in the beginning. Because Team Rocket in Black and White, they no longer cared about catching Pikachu. They actually cared about doing criminal things. And when they
Like,
don't try and catch Pikachu, when they're like, oh, we're gonna break into this, steal this, blah blah blah, for Team Rocket, they were competent. They were actually good.
mhm.
And you saw like a new side of Team Rocket, like, holy shit. this is like Team Rocket. Because do you remember the first time you saw Team Rocket in Generation 1?
Yeah.
They
They
were
seem competent.
they were competent, they were scary, you know?
Hmm.
And then after that they were not like
Then they become like joke characters.
yeah.
Yeah.
In Black and White they were competent again. Until the last season where they then became the joke characters and whatever.
Just to get fucked up.
Yeah, and then in Black and White, Ash has a character named rival named Trip, who is a bit like he's a worse Paul. They saw how popular and good Paul was and tried to recreate it and failed. But he probably had the best character arc in the show. And then when they get to the league, he doesn't even make it past the qualifiers.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, wait, Ash's rival just lost in the qualifiers. Like, he didn't even make it to the main league. And then Ash just loses to this one guy, this super retarded person who didn't even know that he should bring 6 Pokemon to the league.
To the league, yeah.
He just brought 5 Pokemon. I was like, oh, I didn't know that we should bring 6 Pokemon.
Yeah.
And Ash just loses to him.
He sucks, dude. I don't have faith in Ash. In a long time. His best moments when he's showing the most potential is in Battle for Frontier, I believe. From what I watched. Did you watch those?
Yeah. They were part of Gen 3. Yeah, he was really good at Battle Frontier. But X and Y, he's actually more competent in X and Y than Battle Frontier, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But the problem is, it ends up being the Pikachu and Greninja show. His other Pokemon that are really cool, they don't get the love they deserve later on in the last, 1.5 season, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They really, oh, man. And I understand why Journey's, the newest generation, is the way it is. Because in the newest generation, Ash has Pikachu, he has a Gengar, he has a Dragonite.
I like those Pokemon right now so far.
He has Lucario.
Nice.
He has Farfetch'd. But not Canto Farfetch'd. He has the new form Farfetch'd.
He doesn't have the one with the sword and the shield?
Yes, and the one that he evolves to Surfetch'd, the white one with sword and shield.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And then he has something else. Don't even remember, but it doesn't matter.
Even memorable. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter since, I kid you not, 99% of the battles he only uses Pikachu and Lucario.
That's really fucking cheating. It's probably because the animators prefer it that way.
The thing is that he did catch Dragonite and Gengar very early in the show, but they have only gotten 1 or 2 fights each.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't even remember one of his Pokemon. And then his Farfetch only loses.
He never wins with it.
Yeah, I mean, he never fights with it. He never trains with his other Pokemon. He only trains with his Pikachu and Lucario. He only fights with his Pikachu and Lucario. It is so fucking boring. I like Lucario and Pikachu. But fuck me, I never want to see those two again. Fuck off.
Okay, yeah, you're right. All right, so that's it, man. Goodbye. Many thanks, for this. Getting shit done. This is good for me as well.
Yeah, to get something done.
Yeah, in the next podcast, maybe I will plug in my channel as well.
Yeah.
I comment everywhere in your videos anyway, so
yeah,
there is that.
And also maybe when you plug a comment, your channel, maybe you'll have some content.
Yeah, I want to have basically the same topics that I talk about in the podcasts. It's going to be more of that, more of the same. because that's what I know how to do well,
Mm.
and that's it. So yeah,
Yeah. Thank you guys
yeah,
for listening, and have a
and bye
good
bye.
New Year's Eve. Because
Yeah, and a Merry Christmas.
because I mean we are recording this on the 26th of December.
Yeah, now, but we started on Christmas.
Yeah. Well, here in Sweden it was always the 26th.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
What time is it where you are?
it's 12:25 in Arizona.
All
Yeah,
right. So it
right
is an
now.
8-hour difference then between us.
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of difference. But it's good that you catch me at this time because you were full of energy and I was like mildly getting there. So it's good that we got this thing done already.
Yeah, because I mean I woke up and then
Hmm.
after I came here I was like, you know what, I have a decent amount of energy. Let's see if Lazule is awake.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
perfect.
anyways, so who knows when I'll edit and upload this?
Yeah.
But hopefully before the end of the year.
Hmm.
I mean, I do
Possibly,
have,
yeah. Possibly, yes.
yeah.
You're going to have it done by then because there is not going to be a lot to do. So
Mm. Maybe
there's
this will
that.
be like the New Year special. We'll see.
Oh, also you have to remember, Andreas, you have to make a top 10 video games and all that shit
Yeah,
that you do every year. It's
yeah,
probably going to. I'm not sure which game is going to take the gold and shit, but I think that is going to be a Coliseum, possibly. We are going to see. Don't tell me.
yeah.
Just do it. Okay, so
Uh, so
yeah,
I
that's.
actually have two videos in mind. That one, the
Mhm.
top 10 games I played 2021,
Yeah.
and I also want to do a Pokemon tier list. Tier list.
Yeah,
Due to the
yeah.
fact I've
Sounds great.
watched, and I don't know, maybe I don't know what I want to call the video. Like I watched over 1,000 episodes of Pokemon, and then I want to have like completely like destroyed face in the thumbnail or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, like maybe that will be like a bit like a clickbaity video
No, it
because it's
will. It
just gonna
will.
be me doing a tier list. But I want to like get a good title at least, like a funny title for it.
Mhm.
Um,
Like other YouTubers do that, do exactly that.
yeah,
So.
and like a funny thumbnail. So
Hmm.
maybe I'll do like I don't know, maybe try and do some photo. Uh, what's it called? Like when you edit photos and all that to make. I don't know.
A Photoshop, like a photo shoot, and then Photoshop that
Oh yeah,
an
yeah,
edit of that photo.
yeah. Photo editing or whatever. But we'll see. Goodbye.